Thursday, May 16, 2013. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1991 Volkswagen Vanagon. Continuing with the head gasket repair job, and just trying to do a little bit each evening. If you saw last night's video, you know that I was filling in the pitting on the cylinder head with JB Weld. I got a nice bead of it going all around into all the pitting, and tonight I came out here and I sanded this flat. And this actually took longer than I thought it would. That JB Weld does actually some pretty tenacious stuff. From what I understand here, the key is actually to sand it flat but not too smooth, because you do want a bit of a roughness for the new gasket and sealant to grip onto. So initially I just, from what I hear, you want to go on this with 100 grit. Well, I started with 100 grit and I just wasn't powering through the JB Weld, so I actually switched it up and used 80 grit to get through most of it, and to really finish it up and get it flat. And then I switched back to the 100 and it seemed to work pretty well. Running my finger along here, I really don't feel any raised portion at all. So this is nice and flat again, and it's with 100 grit, and hopefully this will work well. I'm not sure if I mentioned in yesterday's video, but I did take a look here between the valves, and the Vanagon factory heads are kind of prone to cracking, and really wasn't seeing anything in there or over here. Like I said, the van was running well, aside from leaking coolant out of this cylinder head, so hopefully when I put everything back together, this will take care of it. So before I install the head on this side, I do have to do a little more cleanup. I mean, there's JB Weld dust all over this thing, so I'm going to have to clean it down again. Probably give it another wash and give it just a little bit of time to dry, and then clean down the surface here with mineral spirits, so it's nice and clean. And in addition to the rubber lip gasket, I'm also going to have to replace these, I think these are aluminum sealing rings here. This one here I can lift out by hand. But these are what actually seals the cylinders themselves to the head. So when this goes in, I have these two rings here. Two green rubber O-rings on the outside of the cylinders, one on each. One thick black rubber O-ring where the cylinder mates to the block on each cylinder. So that's 6. 7, including the rubber lip gasket, which goes around the water jacket. And then there are going to be 8 more. You can see 4 pushrod tube holes right here, and there's a seal on each one of them, and also on the other side of the pushrod tubes. So if I'm totaling that up correctly, that's a total of 15 seals between the cylinder head and the engine, or the rest of the engine. And that, in my opinion, in my judgment, that is my criteria for why this is not a good design. I mean, that's 15 points where this can potentially fail and, leak oil, leak coolant, mix the two. I mean, I gotta hand it to Volkswagen. They made it work, but it certainly was not nearly as reliable as other designs. Take this, for example, compared to my Subaru Legacy. A very similar sized boxer engine, and I've done a cylinder head on that car. That car has 4 valves per cylinder and a single one-piece composite head gasket between the head and the block. And once again, my opinion, that's a much better way to go. It's a much better design. It's true that the Subaru 2.5s have had some head gasket problems. I don't really know a lot of information on that, but the Subaru 2.2 is very reliable. So hopefully when I get this all back together and I get this mounted back in the van, it'll be reliable again, at least for a good long while. Obviously not forever. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.